So you think you've got problems. You should try living my life. My wife is an amateur travel agent, and there's never a day when she's not got her nose in her laptop booking flights and hotels and meals and excursions. And it's lovely, really. This very much is a first world problem, and really I feel quite embarrassed to bellyache about it in public. However, there is a downside, a distinct downside. With all these holidays, and I don't know what it is, when I come back, I'm heavier, I'm fatter, I gain weight on these holidays. I think it's something to do with the different atmosphere or maybe a different time zone. I don't know, but mysteriously, I come back and I'm quite a bit heavier than I was before I left. I thought it was my imagination at first, but I've taken to weighing myself before I go on holiday and then when I come back. And I tell you, the data is in. For some reason, when I go on holiday, I mysteriously put on weight. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that I drink more alcohol, we eat at restaurants, and we have ice creams quite often. I'm sure it's nothing to do with any of that. So what did we do this summer? We had a lot of holidays. Like I say, this is her hobby. She is addicted to booking holidays. So when I left, I was, give or take, I was 11 stone 7. That's always my target weight. That's what I aim for. It's my healthy weight. It's at the higher end of the healthy range for somebody of my height and age and my sex. But it's good enough. It's not quite at the top, but it's near the top. In fact, the BMI for my body is 24.4 at 11 stone 7. That was when I left. When I came back, 11 stone 13, just shy of 11 stone 13. That returns a BMI of 25.3. Now that is in the danger zone. The maximum for a white guy, for a Caucasian, the maximum recommended BMI for healthy living is 24.9. So I'm 0.4 BMI points into unhealthy territory. So basically, I sit here before you on a YouTube channel all about the easy way to lose weight and stay thin. I sit before you as a hypocrite. I haven't managed to stay thin. But that's okay. This is all part of the plan. It may sound like this has happened to me by accident. It hasn't. I knew this had happened. Every time I go on holiday, like most people, I put on a bit of weight. Why do I do that? The truth is, it's nothing to do with time zones or changing atmosphere. It's to do with the fact that I give myself ancillary rules. I talked about those in the second video in this series. I give myself ancillary rules to my approach to food and eating and meal times so that I can enjoy my holidays because I want to, because they're expensive and everyone else is out there having a good time. Why shouldn't I join them? So I need ancillary rules. And those rules go something like this. The corollary Don't pile your plate too high, can be ignored for your main meal. I can drink alcohol every day, not just Fridays and Saturdays. So that you can see how the expansion of the rules change. And there's a couple of other ones, such as if everybody's having ice creams, join them, why not? So these are the ancillary rules that allow me, that give me license to eat, to drink more than I would otherwise. So that's okay, so long as it's understood, and it is understood, that when I come back, I'm back on it, getting myself back down to my healthy weight of 11 stone 7. So that's the plan. Now, there's a calculation that's kind of a rule of thumb calculation, but this is the easy way to lose weight and stay thin. So we tend to go for rule of thumb things. And it's a pretty robust calculation that works for most people in most circumstances. And it goes something like this. For every pound of weight you gain, it can be calculated that, roughly speaking, you must have consumed an extra 3,500 calories. So for £6, that translates to an extra 21,000 calories. I see that as a debt. For the 28 days, I consumed 21,000 extra calories over and above what I should have consumed. Divide that by 28, and that gives me 750 calories extra per day. That's what I've done. That's the debt. I need to pay that down. I need to get myself back to a healthy weight rather than being ever so slightly in the unhealthy section. So what do I do? Now, I might need to. I don't think I'm quite apologising, but I think I need to explain that in video 3 in this series, which is called The Numbers, I may have misled you slightly. In that video, I was emphatic about not lowering your calories below your target weight reference intake. Remember, reference intake is the amount of calories you need to eat to maintain whatever weight it is we're talking about. And every weight for every body has its own reference intake. Now, I was emphatic in that video in saying you don't need to shoot below your reference intake, your target reference intake. Just aim for your target and you'll get there. That's true if you're coming down from being obese or nearly obese or maybe morbidly obese. You're coming down from that great weight, just aim for your target and you'll get there. But as you get close, the power of sticking to your target reference intake diminishes. So I'm only trying to shed 6 pounds. And I've done the sums on this for me, for my body in this situation. The difference between my reference intake for my current overweight and my target reference intake is just 40 calories a day. That's probably the equivalent to a Victoria plum, a large Victoria plum. Just by cutting out 1 Victoria plum per day from my daily diet, I cannot expect to lose that weight anytime soon. It will go eventually. In fact, I've done the sums on that, and it will take me, if you're interested, 525 days to lose that weight. That's 15 months and 1 week. That means that just by sticking to my target weight reference intake, I will lose all my extra holiday weight by 2027. It's autumn 2025. That's no good. I've got to get down there sooner. So, like I say, I think I slightly misled you on video 3. I overemphasized, I was too emphatic about this idea that you never go below your target reference intake. The nuanced view, and I didn't have time in that video to add this, but the nuanced view is that when you're close to your weight, you might find it helpful to dip below your target reference intake. So what does that look like now for someone like me, someone who is coming into land from a holiday where they've gained 6 pounds of extra weight? And there is an analogy here. It is a bit like bringing an aeroplane into land. Now, if you're a pilot, you'll already know this, but for all aircraft, all fixed wing aircraft, as they come into land, there's an effect that comes into play as it comes into land called the ground effect. And this is basically where the air beneath the wings gets squashed between the wings and the ground, the runway. And that slows the descent of the plane. And the pilot has to overcome that by lowering the flaps, by putting on the air brakes. And the plane must become less aerodynamic for those final few meters as it comes into land. This is called the ground effect. Well, it's a bit like coming into land when you're trying to meet up with your target weight using your target reference intake. You get this ground effect, and a way to overcome that is to apply the flaps, apply the air brakes, and that means, in our analogy, eating less food than your reference intake and perhaps doing more exercise than you would normally do. And that's what I'm going to do. Those are the two courses of action that I've committed to. I'm going to exercise more. We're very lucky where we live, right on the edge of the Staffordshire moorlands, just out the back of our house. There's some convenient hills. Now, I do like to go for a walk. I'm usually too idle to make it a daily event, but that's my new commitment, at least until I've lost this extra weight, is to take 40 minutes out of my day and go for a brisk walk, a purposeful walk up the hill and back down again. Now, what that does is it will increase my exercise level from between light and moderate all the way up to moderate. So that will change the calculation on the BBC Food Calorie Calculator, if that's the one you're using, and it is the one I favour. Effectively, what I'm doing is buying myself back something like 300, 400 or 500 calories a day, walking up those hills and back down again. And the other thing I'm going to do is cut my pudding. I've got a bit of a sweet tooth. I never snack, of course. This is the mantra. I don't snack. But for my main meal, I tend to calculate into that meal and the calorie count for that meal a daily pudding. It's usually something like a yogurt or something like that, or maybe a small penguin bar, something around 100, 150 calories, around that ballpark. Well, I've cut that pudding. I'm not having a pudding with my main meal for the foreseeable future. And that'll buy me something like 100 calories a day. So what I'm doing Sunday to Thursday, remember I talked about this in video number 2 and 3. I build in Sunday to Thursday an alcoholiday headroom. So the headroom, this is this idea that Sunday to Thursday, you actually go below your reference intake by quite a lot. They're usually about 400 calories each day. And that'll give you about 2,000 calories left over for the weekend. The idea being that at the weekend, you can let your hair down, you can go for a drink with your friends, you can order in a pizza, have a curry, go to a barbecue, whatever it is you want to do at the weekend with friends and family. You can overindulge ever so slightly at the weekend because you've bought yourself a bit of headroom. But I call it an alcoholiday headroom. Obviously, it's also got to take into account the fact that you're going to go on holiday at some point. And this is where I use my alcoholiday headroom with some care. So it's not inconceivable for someone like me, a Westerner, who likes to go to the pub occasionally. It's not inconceivable that on both Friday night and Saturday night, I could consume an extra 1,000 calories on both days. Now, I don't do that often, but that would look something like 4 pints each night and maybe a big meal like a curry on the Friday and a big meal like a Domino's pizza or something on the Saturday. That's not healthy living. I'm not pretending this is healthy living. This is when I let my hair down. It's the weekend. It's all part of trying to live a normal life, yet still keep an eye on your weight. Now, that would probably add up to about 1,000 extra calories on both of those 2 days, which would ordinarily use up my entire alcoholiday headroom. So there's nothing left over for the holiday. It's just for the weekend, just for the boozy weekend. Now, that is atypical for me. I don't usually indulge that much, both Friday and Saturday. So typically I might use about 750 calories extra on each day, which would leave about 500 calories for building towards the holiday banking. This is kind of roughly speaking how it works. With that in mind, with the extra calories I've earned from not having puddings, with the extra calories I've earned from going for this daily walk, something like, 2,500 calories maybe might be added up over the week, Sunday to Thursday. And then of that, if I'm careful at the weekend, still have a bit of beer, maybe the occasional pizza, but not go too crazy at the weekend. I'm hoping I can save something like 1,500 calories towards paying down this 21,000 calorie holiday debt. And by doing that, I reckon I could get that debt paid down in 14 weeks, not 525 days or 15 and a half months. 14 weeks. That should mean from the 31st of August, which is when I arrived back from the Isle of Wight, I should have lost all my excess holiday weight by the 7th of December, just in time for Christmas. I think that's realistic. I think I'll get there by then. I'll let you know, obviously, when that happens. Okay, so that's all quite complicated. Now, on a YouTube channel called The Easy Way, and after 3 main videos 1, 2, and 3, emphatically, specifically labelled The Easy Way to Lose Weight and Stay Thin, I've thrown a lot of numbers at you and a lot of detail. But what I want to get across is that this is kind of the sort of level you need to think about this, at least in terms of setting out your own rules. What makes this the easy way to lose weight and stay thin is not because I ignore the complexity of, physiologically staying healthy. That's obviously going to be quite a complicated thing here in the modern era, when we're surrounded by, very unhealthy calories. It's not to deny the complexity of the reality. What makes this the easy way to lose weight and stay thin is that you do all the groundwork separately from making decisions about food. We separate the groundwork and then we turn it into a simple rule by which to live. The main rule being, I don't snack. That's what's simple about this. And then there's the corollary. Don't pile your plate too high. And we cope with that by learning about these numbers. And this is what I've been talking about here. It's all in pursuit of understanding the numbers involved, the basic numbers. If you've come across this video and it's the first of mine that you've seen, perhaps you've put on a bit of weight during your holidays and you're thinking, well, how do I lose my weight? I'll see what this guy's got to say about it. And maybe you've watched this video and if you've got this far, thank you. I really appreciate that. If at this point you're your head's spinning and you're thinking, what, BMI and a debt and a ground effect and wow, he's talked about all sorts of stuff. If it all sounds a bit alien to you, go and watch my first 3 videos. They are the easy way to lose weight and stay thin. And it describes exactly what I think would be a good idea for you to do if you are carrying too much weight, if you need to lose weight. They come in the first stage, which is the commitment and the corollary. The second stage, how do busy people lose weight? And the third video, the third stage, is the numbers. This tells you how to find out how fat you should be and therefore how much food you should eat. Do check out those 3 videos. In total, it'll take about an hour, 20 minutes per video. Could be the best hour you've spent in your adult life. If an hour sounds too long for you, I'm very excited about my next video. It's a bit of a challenge I've set myself. I'm going to concentrate the information in those first 3 videos into a single 10-minute video. I've set myself the challenge of creating a 10-minute version of what the Americans would call an elevator pitch for the easy way to lose weight and stay thin. And that will be my next video right here on this channel, which I hope to have ready for you next week. But in the meantime, go check out video 1 of the first 3 videos, the easy way to lose weight and stay thin. If you have put on extra weight over the holidays, good luck getting it off. Don't torture yourself over it. Don't beat yourself up. Just get practical about it and work out how you can steadily, but in decent time, lose that extra weight. And once again, thank you for watching. Cheers.